Okay, so I was requested to add a couple more features to this. Someone wants to see an alternate control scheme where arrows are used, like an up arrow and a down arrow next to the inventory, are used to scroll through the inventory in case the player doesn't have access to a scroll wheel on the mouse. Maybe they're on a laptop or maybe they're using a tablet. The second request was to have a summary, a level summary screen that says, okay, you've completed you've completed the level, and now here's the results. So let's take a look at those. We'll probably do the arrows in the next video because there's a concept I really need to introduce in this one first to explain why we have to make changes in that one. And it's really demonstrated by an error we noticed in the previous video, and that was with the score. We said that for some reason the score was counting down too fast. I'm pretty sure the reason why is because move piece, which is attached to multiple objects, that's where the time bonus is being reduced. So I think what's going on is since this is attached to each and every piece, it's being hit rather than once per frame, it's going 5 times per frame, and that sounds about right because right now there's 5 pieces. So if we had even more pieces, actually I think we've got 6 because that B1 is also a piece. So if we had even more pieces, the time bonus would be even faster. So I'm pretty sure that's what's doing it. So let's get rid of that from move piece. We'll save that. Okay. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the score text object from the level because we've decided it's kind of distracting and this is going to be displayed in the level completion screen. So normally you create a prefab for the purpose of being able to instantiate it. In this case we're turning an object into a prefab just so we can move it to a different scene. So that's legitimate too. So yeah, if you find that you've created something you don't want to reinvent the wheel, just turn it into a prefab, as long as it's not linked to anything in the scene, because then you'll have to create new linkages in the new scene. But this really isn't attached to anything other than that one line of code which we're just going to move, and that was the time bonus code. So now that we've turned into a prefab by dragging and dropping it, we've deleted it. Let's save the level, or save the scene rather, and now let's create a new scene. So new scene, and what we're going to do is we're going to put some script in here. We're going to add a script, but we're also going to do a few other things. So create empty object, and this is going to be a mesh, a text mesh, and it's going to see character size. We usually drop that down to like 0.15. Font size, this will be like a title, so let's make it like 48. Font is going to be Arial, and it's going to say something like level complete. Now maybe you want some like celebratory fireworks or something. So let's quickly do a particle system. I'm not going to go through all the details. That's really a tutorial in itself. But we can just quickly whip up something. So let's create the particle system. Change the shape to a circle. Let's rotate it towards the screen. Let's shrink the particle size, and let's have duration be 1 second. Let's have start speed be 3, and start lifetime being 3. A little bit too far. It's going off the edge of the screen, so let's make it 2. We'll shrink the range a little bit. Push this off to the side. We'll increase the emission. Okay, so now we can see it's too fast and too big still. So start size, let's bring that down to 0.2. Start speed, let's bring that down to 2. And make this a little bit more dense, let's bring this up to 300. And max particle, bump that up to 1500. Alright, so that's getting there. Now let's just have some crazy color changes. So color over lifetime, let's have it start as like a yellow. And then just clicking on the bottom here will create a new keyframe, and I have it go to like red, and then click another keyframe, have it go to like blue, and I'm just kind of like randomly grabbing colors, and then at the end have it become like a green. Blue's probably a little bit too dark, because it makes it look like it disappears. Okay, so now you've got some fireworks. We'll just copy that, paste it, and we'll move it over. So now you've got some fireworks. And let's make one more. And let's see how that looks. Okay, now we'll click on get rid of looping, get rid of looping, get rid of looping. Okay, good enough for now. You can always play with those more to get different effects, like if you want them to shrink in size as they burn out, whatever. So now what we need to do is we'll save this. So save scene, and we'll call this level complete. We'll drag and drop our score text into here, but now our score text really doesn't do much, and the reason for that is because the script, or should I say the code that was calculating your bonus, we've removed, because we said that it was because of where it was attached to, it was creating a problem. So what we're going to do is, now that we've saved this, now that we have something to come to, something to load in, we're going to go back to, let's save this one more time, we're going to go back to puzzle. We're going to create a GM object, because I don't think I have one yet. Yeah, so we'll just do create empty, call it GM. Calling it GM doesn't really turn it into a game master, it's just letting you, the designer, know what you're using it for. And what we're going to do is we're going to create C#. We'll call this game. I think I use game flow elsewhere in this project, so even though it's a different game in one of these other folders, I think I use game flow, so it actually would give me a problem. So let's call it game master. Okay, no errors. So we'll click on GM, we'll give it game master, and then we'll open that up. And this is where we're going to put that line. So move piece dot time bonus minus equals time dot delta time. So I really think that's going to fix it. And we'll know pretty quickly because it was going way too fast. Now, let's see. What else do we want to do in the time bonus? So now we've got the time being calculated, so the bonus should work. So now we just need to create public static int, and this is going to be remaining pieces, because I don't think we did that in this one. And let's set it, even though the puzzle is going to have way more, let's set it to 3. So every time you place a piece, it gets reduced by 1. So let's go to move piece, because that's where the placement is done. So this is where you place a piece. So in the move piece, because here's your total score being increased when you're placing a piece. So game master dot remaining pieces, and it's going to be minus equals 1. And now what we'll do is if remaining pieces equals 0, sorry, need the parentheses, remaining pieces equals 0, then you're just going to load that new scene. But to load the scene, there's something you have to add up here. And that is using Unity engine scene management scene manager load scene level complete. Now, while this is functional, that as soon as remaining pieces is set to 0, the level complete scene will load automatically, or should I say will load immediately. The problem is you don't get to see the final picture for a few seconds, so you probably would want to put a delay here. But again, development is an iterative process where you make iterations. And one more thing to make this work, we need to go up to build settings, and we need to put that new level in. There we go. So like I said, first of all, it's set to only 3 pieces. That way we don't have to do the full puzzle. You'd want to set that to the amount that you want. Also, this is continuing to count, which we would want to stop. So that's actually an easy fix. So to make it stop, Game Master, actually we can put it right here. We'll actually use the remaining pieces. Let's just take the top line. Actually, probably could make just one routine out of it. Not routine, but one if statement. So if remaining pieces is greater than 0. Okay, and let's run it. And there we go. So score stopped. Should be all set now. So you could just build up on this some more, like for instance, if you want to show how many wrong clicks were done, you could do that as well. So you could do, let's see, so we would go into, so game master would create a new variable. So so public static int, call it wrong click, and it starts at 0. Save that. If a piece is placed incorrectly, that's this, because that's where the color is being made translucent. So game master dot wrong click plus equals 1, so that gets increased. And now we'll jump to the new scene. Level complete. Save this scene. And let's copy score. Paste it. And we'll change what it says. For the new one, we'll remove the text. And we'll just create C#. We'll call this other text. So you could really put it in there, but I don't want to start checking for names of the objects and stuff. So just to do this quickly, we'll set up a new script, and in that new script we'll simply have it be get component text mesh dot text equals wrong clicks, we'll call it wrong placements, and it's equal to game master dot wrong click. So you're taking the constant wrong placement and you're appending to it that variable. So that should be all it takes. Actually, we don't want to run this scene. What we want, first of all, we're going to want to move this one over. We'll just wipe out the word score to begin with, since it's wrong. Save this. And that should about do it for this one. So let's go to puzzle. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And you can just keep on that. It's that easy. Every stat that you want to track, you just create a static variable for it and have it be adjusted in the appropriate position. So that should do it for this video.